and I am sitting here across the desk from Sarah Caron, Executive Director of the Crescent City Del Norte Chamber of Commerce.
Hi.
There you go. So we were talking, first off, before we get into all of this, I'm really super excited. You said you got your dad, you got father-daughter Stones tickets for later this year?
Yeah, we're so excited. It has been his lifelong dream to be able to see the Stones. And we get to go see them in May for his 70th birthday.
That's amazing. That's really cool. And I can't believe how much this stuff costs nowadays. I saw the Stones in Oakland in like 89 or 90, and my roommate spent the night outside of a record store, and I think the tickets were like $40.
Right.
Wow.
It's pretty exciting. Our tickets are right beside the catwalk, so we're going to get to see him coming out and doing his Jagger moves.
Wow.
Keith over there rocking it. It's going to be amazing.
That's an iconic act to see. That really is. And they sort of I read something about Mick Jagger exaggerating his moves as their career went on, and they got into the 70s and started playing arenas so that he could be seen by 50,000 people from wherever you were. So when he's jumping up and down and doing all the Jagger stuff, he's adjusted his show to fill an arena like that so that people get their money's worth and get entertained.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I love all of the Stones work. I love after they came back from Kingston and did the reggae jams and really have evolved over the years, and it's so exciting.
It is exciting. That's really cool. I'm excited for you. So is there anything that the Chamber of Commerce can do to bring the Stones here?
First concert in the park.
Oh, wow.
We just want to set a precedent for what we want to do around here.
So how long have you been involved with the Chamber?
So this go around, I have been the executive director for a year and a half, but I was actually the interim executive director at the Chamber 13 years ago.
Oh, wow. So why the break?
So I was interim executive director, and then I was headhunted over to the Triplicate to work in advertising.
Okay.
And then I actually moved to Arizona and went to massage school.
Oh, wow.
So it needed a change. It was kind of a break away from the business side of things. And I ended up going to massage school, and then I moved back here, had my daughter, and have had a successful massage practice for the last 10 years, and it's been great. And then I was headhunted again from the chamber board to highly suggest that I apply for the interim position and then ultimately apply for the permanent director position. And that's been a year and a half.
And that's so this is when Jeff left, right?
There was a little break
there a gap there in between? Okay.
Right, where the president and the board of directors had to step in and cover while they were searching, and it takes a while for hiring process. So it's actually great because Jeff and I have a long history. He was one of my board of directors while I was interim director 13 years ago, and then when I left, I went to go work at the Triplicate,
which is what
he and I were co-workers.
That's right.
So then when I moved to Arizona to go to massage school, he became the executive director of the chamber, and I told him, you keep my seat warm because I'm coming back. Of course I was just razzing him. I wasn't serious at all, but it's just funny now to actually have that come to fruition. It's great.
That's funny. Oh, wow. And I love seeing what Jeff's doing now, retired, and he's over in Grants Pass, and he's spending all this time with his granddaughter and posting online. And I know he went through all of these health concerns and things. It's good to see him. I told him it's nice to see you living your life the way you want to. That's great.
Absolutely. I love seeing him going fishing and, of course, bruising out all over the place.
And anytime he comes back through, we clear the decks and let him do a show when he comes on. Because
everyone loves Jersey Jeff.
Jersey Jeff, right on. And I love it because he'd always say, when I come in and he'd be having a good show, he goes, "This is my yoga. This is what I need." I'm like, yeah, right on.
That's
so
lovely.
Interacting with all these years with Jeff, I kind of got a glimpse of just what the executive director position for the Chamber of Commerce holds and the amount of work that it is. I know how he was handling it, and he'd come and do his yoga because he needed to. How are you handling it? It's a ton of work.
It is a lot of work. This last year and a half, there's been a lot of really great things that have been happening. But as far as cleaning the office and reorganizing and restructuring and trying to bring the chamber back to a place, not back, but to a place of current technology and practices. How I handle the stress of the position, because it's definitely a stressful position. It's very political. It is, I have a board of 15 members, 12 voted on, and 3 appointed, 1 from the city, 1 from the county, and 1 from the harbor. And these 15 people are all my bosses. So it is definitely, it can be a very political, and with the events and all of the other work, it can be an incredibly stressful position. I actually do yoga, and I love riding my bike and trying to kind of exercise the stress out. And I'm a kayaker, so I love kayaking and trying to exercise that out. If you see me on a bike ride where I'm hitting it hard, you know that it's been a little bit of a rough day.
I know Jeff would tell stories of after the day after the 4th of July, having to being out there at the crack of dawn in Beachfront Park picking up trash.
Right. So it's the 4th of July is definitely, a huge event. It takes about 6 months of planning, and it's not just the 4th of July because we also host the deck party. So it's about 3 or 4 days of about 18-hour days. And at one point, my assistant Kyle Clausen, he came across me in the park, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I had to sit down under a tree, and he said, "All I see is your feet, is laying down in the park, and your feet." And I said, "I just can't. I have to stop this second and stop." But it's absolutely worth it. It's such an incredible event. The 4th of July is, unlike any place I've ever been. The community comes and rallies for this event, and as well as the deck party, and we get anywhere around 30,000 people come to our community.
That's amazing.
And so the economic boost that provides for our businesses and the tourism industry, it absolutely makes it worth it, but it is a lot of work. Yeah.
Let's talk, I want to talk about other things that the other events the chamber hosts, and then we'll talk about what's happening later today with the multi-mixer, correct? That's today, if I was reading the calendar
I'm
correct.
so impressed.
I have to do some research. I just, hey, Sarah, how you doing? Tell me about stuff.
I could do that too.
I figured, yeah. What's and those are the best guests to have. But what overarching, just big, looking at the Chamber of Commerce, what does the Chamber of Commerce bring to the community, to members of the community, and to businesses in the community? Why have a Chamber of Commerce?
This is a really great question, and I think it's a question that not a lot of people know the answers to, and I think it's a really important one because the Chamber does a lot for the community. So first and foremost, we provide economic development for our community. So that means we host an economic summit every year, giving the state of the economy for our entire community. This economic summit also is something that this year, it's in March 15th, and this year we are actually going to be going back to our roots. The original intention of this event was to excite the community, to showcase businesses that are superstars, that have really made something from their business, and showcase them so that other business owners or potential business owners or youth can be excited and know what's out there and the potential that's out there. Unfortunately, what happened over the years is it kind of evolved into an event where we go and get updates from the city, the county, the harbor, and a lot of people want to go to that because a lot of us don't attend regular Board of Supervisor meetings or harbor meetings.
It's a big deal in the community and kind of a watershed event every year for people going and checking this out.
Absolutely. We always have keynote speakers like Senator McGuire, and we have, this year we're going to be having Vertigo, the company who who is rebranding our entire community right now through our Visitors Bureau.
Okay.
So that's going to be, that is an exciting thing
we'll
to talk about.
I do want to spend a lot of time with the Visitors Bureau too.
But as far as other things the Chamber can do, so economic development is one thing. If you become a member of the Chamber of Commerce, your major benefit of being a member is being able to network your business. Now, a lot of people will say, I don't have time. I don't have time to join the Chamber. It's not, because I think a lot of people envision Chamber membership is synonymous with attending mixers or becoming active within the Chamber. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of stuff behind the scenes for people as well. The businesses' information gets posted on social media. It's on our website, which we're so excited. We're in the process of getting a new website and getting hopefully board approval if any of my board members are listening.
And just from somebody who sees a lot of websites, listen.
Yes,
listen to
please
her.
do.
And it's been that way for a long time.
It's been that way for a long time.
Young people have looked at websites and they say, "Oh, that's so 90s."
Right.
And I've realized
very much so. It looks like you would hear your modem playing in the background with it. So I want to acknowledge that I do know how understated and really ineffective our website is. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to be able to get a new website, to be able to have people pay for their membership online and to, pay for events.
Oh, actually functioning like a website.
Right.
Should, right? Yeah,
yes. Yeah. And how about a member section where you can actually go in and put your community calendar event on the calendar?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
There's lots of things down the line for the Chamber. So in addition to economic development, membership benefits with marketing with other people, free advertising on websites, in our listing in our Discover Del Norte publication, which is an incredible publication that now, last year I revitalized this publication, and when I first came on a year and a half ago, the first project was you need to approve this this publication because we've already done all the work and here we're done. You just need to approve it.
Just to sign off on it. Yeah.
And then I took one look at it and realized, you know where this is going, huh? So I took one look at it, and I mean, even though it was great, but it looked exactly the same as when I was director 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And so I said, no, times have changed. We need to update this, and we need to put the proper information in there. It had great info, but it was mainly words, lots and lots of words, not a lot of pictures. Mm-hmm, and publications have changed in the last 13 years. We're visual. We want to be dazzled with links and pictures, and that's about it. Yeah. So this year, we're getting ready to revitalize that, and we have, if you're a Chamber member, you can get in this book that goes to all the hotels, the attractions, the restaurants. It's actually now in the seat back of the Contour airplane.
Oh, nice.
And we distribute about 5,000 to different relocation packets and visitor packets that we send out. And it's an amazing publication. It's not only a visitor's guide, but it's a community directory. Yeah. So this year we're adding a section, how to start a business, step by step, which it has been a missing link in our community. If you're trying to start a business, a lot of times there's frustration because it's not a clear, concise, step by step. First go here, then go here.
And these are like Del Norte specific pieces of information.
All Del Norte. Yep. We're really focusing our visitor center, our Chamber of Commerce, everything is the Crescent City Del Norte Chamber of Commerce. And the information that's in our visitor center is only for that area.
Great. That's fantastic. Talk to me now about a visitor center. I had sort of a passing association with the visitor center maybe 5-6 years ago that did not go well. Did not enjoy the culture that I found there, and I could see how somebody if you come in and you want to make changes, I could see how you really got to pump some iron and get some muscle behind you to make these sort of changes in this glacial almost thing that was at least happening there. But now you've mentioned there's somebody involved with rebranding the community through the visitors?
Oh my gosh. So this is the most exciting thing in our community right now, in my humble opinion, of course.
Well, you don't have a vested interest here. What do you got?
So we have, let me first clarify that there's 3 different entities that tend to be muddled. We have the Crescent City Del Norte Chamber of Commerce. We have the Visitors Center.
Okay.
And then we have the Visitors Bureau.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the difference is the chamber, we are geared towards economic development and growing your business. The Visitors Center, our job, when people walk in at the top of the cultural center, our job is to keep them here. Spend your money here. Because the job of the Visitors Bureau is to get them here. To get the visitors here. So it's recruitment from other areas. And then the visitor center, once they get here, that's our job, is to provide all of the highlights of our community. And wow, you only have 3 days here? I don't know if you're going to be able to squeeze it all in. So, with the role, my role as executive director of the Visitors Bureau is recruiting and marketing our community. And currently we're in about a year in to a 3-year marketing plan where we are spending $300,000 in this 3-year plan to rebrand Del Norte County. And it's such an exciting time because the people, we sent out RFP requests for proposals from different marketing firms. And the one that we ended up choosing is called Vertigo Marketing, and they're based out of Bend, Oregon. And it's really an honor to have them working for us because their marketing plan their proposal that they gave to us, it just blew everyone out of the water.
What sorts of things are they looking to change in the marketing of Del Norte County?
So, historically, Del Norte County has been a timber, logging, fishing, natural resources community. And as we know, things have changed. I mean, some of those things are still thriving. Logging is actually thriving in this community still. Same with the crab fishermen and the river guides. They're doing great. However, we need to shift because those resources aren't always going to be available. And what we do have is our natural resource, the beauty of our community. So my vision for Del Norte County is trying to create the Del Norte County to be the next outdoor recreation destination because it's what we have. And in these outdoor recreation communities, the big push is the multi-sport day. So that's, say in the morning, you want to go surf. And then after you surf, you're going to go hike, and then you're going to go for a bike ride. And then the next day, you can go kayaking and stand-up paddling and then go snorkeling in the ocean. There's so many different combinations in our community that we can come up with for these multi-sport days. And to me, what I find is that we have one missing link.
What's that?
Mountain biking. So mountain biking in our community, we have about 3 trails that are legal mountain biking trails.
Okay, what are they?
In our community.
Because I know where I ride. I guess I was wondering what a legal mountain bike trail is.
So, our land is protected by state and national parks as well as Forest Service land that is not, does not currently allow mountain bikings in this section. There are a few trails. There is the trail that goes from Crescent Beach Overlook to near Damnation Creek. And you can actually, the best way to ride that one. And now, of course, this trail is, there's portions of it that are pretty gnarly cliff type sections.
And they just got it open again too, right after the slide.
So the other portion of it though is about 2 miles of this incredible ride through the forest.
It's the old highway.
Exactly, the old highway, and it's not very populated. You know, when I go up there, I never see anyone else up on the trail, and it's a really great opportunity to get the redwoods and the ocean in a bike ride, and it's a legal trail. It's great. And then we have Of course, the Lake Earl Loop is a
okay,
really
good.
great one.
I'm not breaking the law then.
No,
All right, good.
and that is a tricky one because it is state park land out there, but there's no signs out there for no bikes. So I think as long as you're staying on the trails, that's a legitimate trail to go on. And then there's also portions of the Mill Creek Trail that are bike friendly as well.
Okay.
So it's definitely something that you want to watch for signs to make sure that the other trail, there's a Paradise Trail out off of South Fork when you're heading.
Yes.
The Paradise Trail is also a bike friendly trail. And that's,
bike friendly, but it's like straight up, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's bike friendly as in I've never been on it because it is really hardcore, but I've heard it's amazing.
So those are just like specifically mountain bike trails, right? Because I mean, I think about riding a mountain bike in Delaware County. I'm going over Howland Hill, you know, and I'm riding with cars and things, but you know, it's not like a highway.
Right.
But that's what I think of when I think about getting out and riding a bike. But you're talking about designated mountain biking trails.
Right, specifically mountain biking. I mean, those on single track trail.
Okay.
So in my opinion, this is the missing link because mountain biking is now the #1 retirement sport. It has surpassed golf as the #1 retirement sport.
Wow, I had no idea.
So it's really something that people of all ages are really trying to get involved with and keep healthy and stay moving and limber longer.
It's much cooler than golf.
Right? Yeah, and the clothing is much better as well.
So have you talked, I mean, do you talk with like, I don't even know if they're members of the chamber, I assume they are, but like Redwood Rides, Adam Spencer and Redwood Rides, I mean, he's got to be very much involved in a situation like trying to get more.
Absolutely. What Redwood Rides is doing in our community is just absolutely amazing, and I think that they should be the model for other types of businesses to come into the community because they're really tapping into a resource that has been pretty much previously untapped, and it's I think that they are doing an amazing job. And we also have another rafting kayak rental company in town as well, Smith River Kayaks, that they do a totally different scene where, you know, that's more of like he's a biologist, the gentleman,
cool.
Carl, that owns it. And so he, you know, does like biology tributary type tours as well. And so, but yes, Adam and Alex are an integral part of the community and what I envision for.
They're kind of the model for sort of bringing the future draw for Delaware County.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Vertigo Marketing, to go back to your original question, is trying to help us showcase what we have. So we did a photo shoot a few months ago and did some ocean kayaking. Adam and Alex hosted us to go out ocean kayaking out to Whalers Island, which was the first time I'd ever done that, and it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. I'm a whitewater kayaker, so for me, ocean kayaking is a little foreign.
Yeah,
and it was really interesting to go out there
outside the harbor.
Yeah,
wow.
We took off from Pebble Beach and went out.
Go around?
We went out to, not Whalers, pardon me, Castle Rock.
Oh, I thought you went all the way. Okay,
yeah,
so
that is
Whalers
hardcore.
Island.
Yeah, no.
No, Castle Rock is more hardcore, but that's nuts.
It was.
I watched those waves breaking on that rock out there. Oh my God.
Yeah, so you can't get super close to it because it's a sanctuary.
It's elephant seals or something.
Right.
Yeah,
and let me tell you, they let you know when you get too close, and they start swimming all around, and it's such an awesome experience to go do that.
Wow.
We went mountain biking, we went kayaking, we went rafting, we went on the Klamath jet boats. It was we're really trying to give our visitors and potential visitors an idea of what we have here. And we have the tallest trees, we have the cleanest rivers, we have an abundance of natural resources here.
And it's kind of like long overdue that we start focusing on that. I mean, because you talk about the end of the resource economy in Delaware County, and that goes back. That started in the early 70s and kind of reached an apex in the 80s, and we're still we haven't woken up from that dream yet, and haven't realized, you know, what is the future. It seems like, and that message when I was involved with the Visitors Bureau, that seemed to be kind of muddled still.
Well, of course, everyone has their idea of what they think will make Del Norte County great, and we've been trying to come back since the tsunami.
Yeah.
And I think that there is just this incredible energy building in our community right now. Of course, with Eric Ware, our new city manager.
He's amazing, yeah.
He is absolutely amazing, and watching him create this energy in our community.
How's Eric been instrumental in doing that? Because I mean, the whole time when he was like the engineer, he was always the guy go to whatever meeting, whether it's the supervisors, city council. He's the guy with the answers, and he would get up and he'd walk everybody through this in a very approachable sort of way. And I'd think, why isn't this guy city manager already? And then he becomes city manager. What else has he brought then to creating this new spirit in Crescent City and Del Norte County?
Well, I think the great thing about Eric is that he is. He's recognizing that we have this energy and this build up, and we're on this cusp of something incredible, and he is making things happen to move us forward. I think so many times when people have been in positions for a long time or are of certain generations perhaps, that there's we've done it this way, this is how we're doing it, and this is how we will always do it. And I think Eric recognizes that doesn't always work. And so he's very forward thinking and outside the box. And I think what you said, when you listen to him speak, he has this ease about him that allows us to be able to understand some pretty complicated things he's talking about, but in a way that's like, oh, wow, that just makes sense.
I didn't know until I heard Eric at a meeting how concerned I was about the sewer on B Street. I'm like, wow, tell me more. What a story.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's a young guy, a relatively young guy. He's got a couple of kids, and invested in Amber is very much a part of the business community. And
absolutely. Amber's one of our board members, and she's been a part of the chamber off and on for about 13 years. She was actually who originally hired me. 13 years ago. And I think that's what also makes Eric's position really unique. Eric being in the position very unique is that he is a local gentleman. Yeah. He's invested. His family has deep roots, comes from one of the most genuinely amazing families. And he was raised watching his parents build up the community and be active community members as well. So I think he has such a solid foundation and such a passion for this community that he's going to take us to great places.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so when it comes to, and I don't get into the work of what a marketing so is the Explore Del Norte site still the way it was?
Exactly the same as it was.
Really? Okay.
So here's what I'll tell you. The Explore Del Norte website is even more barbaric than the Chamber website. So what Vertigo Marketing is in the process of doing right now, as we speak, they are revitalizing our website. Excellent. And the mock-up that I have seen is so incredible. So at our Economic Summit, we are going to have our unveiling of our new logo. Previously, we had Where the Redwoods Meet the Sea, as and that's been around for a long time. And, it's a great one, but it's just we're trying to update and revitalize. So the new logo, the new tagline, and the new website are all going to be unveiled at our Economic Summit by a presentation from Vertigo Marketing.
Excellent. That's a great thing to see. That would be really, really cool. I remember because website was one of the things I was involved with, and looking at what Del Norte had, and then just looking at like what Siskiyou County had. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the 21st century over here in Siskiyou County. Come on, what's going on? Yeah.
So one thing that I've been recently working on is I went up to Florence, Oregon, and met with the executive director, who has come in the last 4 years, and not only has she completely revitalized the Chamber of Commerce in Florence, but by doing so, she has completely revitalized the entire community.
Oh, wow.
And so I went up and met with her, and she's kind of taken me under her wing and is excited to mentor me. And I got some really great information and ideas from her. Their website is incredible, and that's what we're kind of trying to mock our website off of. We have their permission.
Oh, good.
Really, just to be clear.
They know we're doing it.
Yeah, they know we're doing it. And they are just, there's a lot of things because chambers right now, it's an interesting time for a chamber of commerce because a lot of chambers are either thriving or dying.
And
There's not a lot of middle ground.
And what drives that?
Well, according to Bettina, the executive director in Florence, she said it's the person behind it.
Really? Wow.
It depends on the energy of the person that is the director. And, no pressure.
Yeah, I know.
But that makes me feel good because I do have a lot of drive and energy for this. So I said, oh, great. Well, that then done and done. It's going to be great. So it definitely... There's a lot of things that coming down the turnpike that are going to really start to make major differences in the community, especially the business community with the chamber.
Can you talk about any of those?
Sure, of course.
I didn't know if it was a surprise, a big reveal.
No. So one thing that we're working on is obviously a new website. And instead of having two websites, this is all pending board approval, and I'm really hoping they're going to approve this.
This is a brainstorming session.
So it's in the works. So I'm hoping they just say, yeah, this is, of course, we have to do it this way. So we have the new Visitors Bureau website. And then on the new Visitors Bureau website, there's going to be a tab for chamber. And so we're going to have one website instead of having, people don't know where to go if they're visitors or locals.
You're conflating the whole Chamber of Commerce website then to a tab? Okay.
And let me tell you, this little tab is going to do 15 times more than our current website does.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's true.
But within the tab, there's going to be a drop down of many things that can happen within the chamber's area. So it's not just one little section. It's membership and events and economic development and all the things that the chamber does. So part of that is what we're going to be doing is a new sponsorship tier program. So, and this is modeling what Florence, Oregon does, where they get sponsorship one time a year, because a lot of my job is going out and soliciting
and selling
sponsorship.
For every round,
every single event, and the only time I get to see business owners is when I'm hounding them
going
for money.
Going out the handout. Okay,
right.
Yeah.
So, and that's not a good feeling. I don't like people to feel like they have to dodge me when I'm coming into their business. I want to come in and support them and just ask for money once a year. So what the sponsorship packages include is, being able to sponsor certain events and sponsor different fireworks and the deck party and all in 1 year, one package, so that you can strategically market and plan and budget your entire year instead of saying, oh gosh, this would be great, but I only have a week to decide, or I have to tell you by tomorrow, because that's a lot of times what happens is that these types of events, I'm planning events back to back to back to back, where it's like, oh gosh, I need to go solicit money for this now. And so I think by doing the sponsorship package, businesses will be excited to be able to just plan for the entire year. I'm going to try to make it an option that they can make monthly or quarterly payments, so it's not as overwhelming for people. And then by doing so, I'll be able to actually step out and recruit new members and provide economic development opportunities and trainings for our business community, because that truly is my position as the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. That's what I need to be focusing on, instead of hey, can you sponsor this event, because I know I just hit you up last month, but please.
Back again. That was actually a criticism I had for a lot of years with the Chamber of Commerce, is when I was doing the Fotique with my dad, and we were chamber members. My complaint was it seemed like all I ever got from the chamber and its membership was just the bill. And so it's interesting. I'm glad that there's somebody doing something now to sort of up the game a little bit, because it did seem sort of inertial.
Absolutely. And I think that it becomes a thing of how much do you want to put into it. People, when we talked about earlier, like people not necessarily having to be involved, but the reality is the more involved you get, this community really is a word of mouth community.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so you have to get your word out there to be able to spread it. And so, just like this evening is a great opportunity for our business owners that are not brick and mortar. They don't have the space, the establishment to be able to host their own mixer, which generally costs about $500.
Yeah. That's that we. Let's jump into that, because the one thing that I've always enjoyed with the Chamber of Commerce are the mixers, because it's as you say, it's like a word of mouth sort of. It's also, face recognition kind of community. And it was fun to go to these things, put all these people together, these businesses together, and see what they have to offer. You do end up networking with people because you're standing around talking to them about what's going on. We even at one time, I think Jeff, when he was a DJ, got us a membership for a year. And we even hosted a mixer. And yeah, I was surprised to find out how much work and how much money and expense and time go into hosting these things. So talk about this evening.
So this evening is our multi-small business mixer, and it's going to be at Seaquake in their brew room. It's open to the public, and let me just tell you this much. We have Contour airline tickets to raffle. We have each of our 18 businesses that are signed up. We may get a few more in the afternoon. We're still, we're still open if anyone wants them, but each of the businesses are going to be raffling off. So normally raffling prizes. So typically at a mixer, you have a few raffle prizes from the people hosting, but at this multi-small business mixer, we're providing the food for the businesses. Of course, you can purchase libations from Seaquake. They're going to have servers going around asking, serving people. And then, the businesses are going to get an opportunity to have 2 minutes, give their elevator spiel, sell us. Why should I go to your business?
Now, I don't want to get you down into the weeds and naming businesses and not being able to name all 18 businesses. But what sort of businesses are we talking? You have a list.
I do.
Who are the businesses then that you're servicing with this?
So this year we have Express Employment Professionals. They are out of Humboldt County, so it's another opportunity. If we know that if we host a business mixer in Humboldt County, we're not going to have a huge attendance. Yeah. So it's a great opportunity for them to come in here and get their word out to our community as well. We have Norris from Wild Rivers Coffee.
Good for him.
He's great. We also sell his product in our visitor center, which we have revitalized our visitor center to provide local products. We're not trying to compete with other people who are selling souvenirs in our community that are our chamber members. We want to highlight our community members that are we're really proud of.
You're getting me into a whole nother line of questioning.
It's so good.
Let me write this down. So first off, one thing that I always try to celebrate and talk about when I'm on the air are the places that you can go, like Del Norte Office Supply or another one of our underwriters, the Mailroom and Copy Center, where you can find locally made products and goods. So now I can include the visitors.
Absolutely. We sell My Honey's Produce in there. We sell Wild Rivers Coffee. We sell Big Flat Creations.
You get the Fog Bank.
They just became members.
Cool, right on.
And so I'm going to hit them up tonight, which they will also be at the
I planned all that.
Multi-Small Business Mixer. So that's really exciting. They have an amazing product, and those guys are really moving and shaking in this community, and I'm so proud of them. Yeah. And I'm so stoked that they are members now. So, and we also have, martial arts, wood cuttings, and I'm really trying to focus, like I said, on the locals, Avril, and, other people. Mike Selfridge agreed to make a mug for us, a Chamber of Commerce Visitors Bureau mug if we want. And I'm really trying to get into that because I just think he's such an amazing figure in our community.
Is it one of those, the Del Norte mugs that has the Del Norte earth mixed into it?
Yes.
That's
but but that one is, I believe it's called... It's something Del Norte, and it's a specific stamp that he has for another organization.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so ours won't be exactly the same, but I just think that providing showcasing our local businesses instead of trying to take business away from our chamber members and competing with them, selling the same type of souvenir products. When people are looking for that, now we can refer them, across the street is the Redwood National and State Park headquarters, and down the street is Ocean World, and they have great souvenirs, and Trees and Mysteries down the road, you're going to be driving right by it. So it's more, instead of competing, we're elevating.
Exactly. That's great.
So in addition, tonight, we also have a great company called Crescent Trail Rides. And
Yes.
they are, Lori and Sarah, they are doing some amazing things with Crescent Trail Rides. Once again, another company I would love to highlight as where I see Del Norte County and our tourism industry heading. We also have Juliana Landscape. She's a new landscape architect and designer that moved into our community about a year ago. And she has just this great energy, and she is, the products that she has in her portfolio are incredible. So I'm excited to highlight her. Advanced Security Systems, they are based out of Humboldt, but they have a service tech in Del Norte County, so they're great people to know about. Of course, the California Redwood Arts Association, they are doing some incredible things in our community, and I'm so proud of them, and they're going to be there. We also have the gals from Crescent City Rocks, Kathy and Julie. They make jewelry out of local products, rocks, necklaces, and different things that it really gives people a unique opportunity to purchase something made not only by local people, but from local products. We have Kyoko with Chrysalis Photography that's going to be there. We're so happy with her work. She took our Christmas photo this year and did such a great job with that. And she's always such a pleasure to work with.
She really is. And if you don't know, that's the sheriff's wife. She's an amazing woman and a great photographer. And I always comment, because I was a photographer for a lot of years, I know how difficult it is to take a picture in the redwoods. And she just nails it. And I know a lot of it is computer nowadays too, and digital. She knows what she's doing.
But you have to have that eye.
Yeah, exactly.
You do.
Yeah.
She's great. We also have New Dawn Support Services. They're a great organization in our community. We have Stanley Plumbing, which is a new plumbing company in our community. I've utilized them a couple times, and they are just so impressive because they came out in the evening, fixed what was going on, and I had an invoice in my email by the end of the day.
Wow.
The efficiency there is just, I've never experienced anything like
fantastic.
that. It was great. We also have Charlene Storer. She's going to be there for cultural services. She's also a storyteller, and she's just a great lady. We also have Connie McDonald with Soul Feet. There's going to be also a newer electrician to our community.
Oh, good.
Swede Electric. That's Sean Swede. He's going to be there showcasing his skills with as an electrician. The Economic Development Center is going to be there. They're also partners this year with this event. It's Economic Development Center and the Small Business Development Center partnered with us to provide this awesome event.
That's great.
We also provided a business training marketing workshop that was associated with this event so that people that were attending this event had an opportunity to learn some marketing skills and hone them in before this event so that they can utilize them during the event.
Exactly. That makes great sense.
And then
the S, I just want to break in.
Yeah, please.
Another organization does a whole bunch of really good for us here locally is the SBDC. I've taken part of that. I've worked with them and seen just the kind of the way they help entrepreneurs and people with great ideas just kind of sow the seeds here in the community. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. They are an integral part of our community, and I'm really excited to work with them. They have a Humboldt County office, but they service Del Norte County. I utilized them myself when I was starting my massage practice, and I took their business flight courses, and I learned so much through the SBDC, and I'm actually partnering with them again because I'm getting ready to start a new business myself. And
you don't have enough to do?
I'm bored. I'm bored. So I just needed to entertain the one day off I had. So, and then let's see. We also have the Toastmasters that are going to be at the event. So this is an organization that basically helps you hone in your public speaking skills. And I think that that's something that's really scary for a lot of people. And it's a great organization that they always seem like they're having so much fun. And so I really think that it's great to have them there. We also have a new heating and air company in our community called More Heating and Air. So I'm excited to chat with them and help them network, especially, helping network More Heating and Air, Sweet Electric, Stanley Plumbing. These guys can all refer off of each other. They're different businesses in the same industry.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for those organizations to meet each other. And then the last one that we're going to have is the Chamber is going to have a booth just talking about what it means to be a member, what we offer people. Come ask us questions, because I think a lot of some people are afraid to say it, some aren't, but what does the Chamber do for me? And we want to answer that because we do a lot. So come ask us.
Congratulations on all of these businesses so many of the ones that you've named here being new. That's exciting.
We have had an influx in new businesses in our community, and it really is exciting. Focusing on the positive things, changing the narrative in our community, changing the vision of Del Norte County and the feeling of what we are doing in this community and what's actually happening. And I think that's really going to be the key to our future success, is being able to, no matter who you talk to, whether it's a visitor or a local, being able to feel that excitement and that passion and that love for our community, and that just spreads like wildfire.
That's fantastic. What sort of, I don't want to take you too much longer. We've actually been going on now for about 47 minutes. And you have an appointment you have a meeting at noon. I know it's a busy, busy day for you the rest of the day. But what sort of changes would you like to see in the local community? Maybe if you just had, a magic wand and regardless of governmental this or private property or anything, what sorts of changes would you like to see happen in Del Norte County?
So I think my number one thing that I would like to see is more mountain bike trails.
Okay.
I think that really is our key to being able to move us to that next level. But I also would love to be able to see more businesses that are recreation driven, tourist driven, start up in our community, starting to change that narrative, giving people, okay, we have this outdoor recreation. Now, once they get here, what if they came here without a tent? Or what if they came here without climbing gear or a kayak?
That's a really good question. Yeah.
So we have, of course, Backcountry Bikes is an amazing business in our community. We just awarded him with the Business Leader of the Year award.
Oh, did Tom get that?
To Tom, and it's just so wonderful because he's such a great community member, and I really think that it's great to be able to honor people who are not necessarily in the front line with everyone knowing who they are and what they're doing, that he's kind of this silent community leader where he's leading by example. And his business practice is just amazing, and I'm just so proud of him. And I just think that it's really great to be able to showcase and honor people who have been doing wonderful things in our community for 30 plus years. Yeah. And it's just kind of this silent, steady, wonderful thing that's happening.
I have a question, and I hope it's not contentious. But you mentioned Tom and Backcountry Bikes. It's a wonderful local business. What is the Chamber's attitude? Okay, so let me see how I can phrase this. A couple of years ago, it was a very, very big deal back when Ron Gastineau was mayor, and it was a big deal for the city to get businesses like a Big Five, to get big chains to come in. It was like and there's this kind of holy grail like Olive Garden that never happened, and I don't like to celebrate businesses like that. I would much rather go see somebody like Tom. Does the Chamber have a stance about promoting, say, a local business, a homegrown business over, say Big Five wants to come and be a member? Do businesses like that typically join chambers of commerce to begin with? And what's our local attitude toward that?
That's a really good question. I think it depends on who you talk to. The chamber as a whole, I would say we celebrate all businesses. We have the corporations, the big box stores, as well as the small mom and pop shops. And we want to celebrate all of them because there is a place for all of them. So a lot of people are really surprised to hear about the big box stores and how much they donate locally, because specifically Home Depot has been absolutely incredible with local donations. Alex just became one of our board members. I'm so happy to have him on board. He's the manager of Home Depot. And the same with Walmart. Walmart is an incredible chamber member. They support local events. They donate when we ask. They are a great supporter. So same with Walgreens. They're big supporters of our Sea Cruise event. So we have these big box stores that are willing and able to donate locally. And I think it's an untapped resource in our community, because we all kind of have this, like, big box store feeling. A lot of people do. But the reality is they have a big budget to be able to locally donate.
Is it just a matter of folks like you going and making the effort to ask and involve?
Absolutely, as well as other organizations. I know the Del Norte Trails Alliance has hit up local businesses like ACE just gave us a great deal on some tools for our trail maintenance, and it's a matter of, if you don't ask, you won't know. So but of course, the downtown revitalization and the smaller stores that are locally owned in our downtown district, the increase in the energy that the Downtown Divas have created down there, it has really been
They've changed pivotal. The game. They've changed the game downtown.
Absolutely changed the game. And it's really, it's part of that grand plan of all of us building up our entire community and growing together.
Okay, so let's wrap up. But first, take me through the rest of the year. What have we got to look forward to as a community, thanks to the chamber, as far as events and things?
Sure. So this year, and of course, I will preface this with, we just had our strategic planning meeting for our board of directors, and we just this year came up with a new committee. We have two new committees that I'm really excited about. Marketing is one, which, it's a little sad to say that we didn't have a marketing committee prior to this.
It's kind of what you guys are supposed to be doing, right?
Forward, we do lots of marketing. We just didn't actually have a committee that was focusing on that. And then the other committee is event master plan ad hoc advisory committee.
Okay.
And so they're going to be taking a look at the events that we promote and that we facilitate, and kind of doing a reorganization, making sure that it's worth the time and energy, because a lot of these events are a lot of work. A lot of work
and not a lot coming in because of
right. Yeah. Because of all the work. It's like we get this number, but if we actually put in wages that are put into it, it's, not necessarily the best thing for our time and energy. So with that being said, this is all because the new ad hoc committee has not met yet. I'll tell you what is on the books, but some of these things may change.
Perhaps some events maybe that we're accustomed to that won't be happening, or will be happening in a substantially different sort of situation this year? Something's still up in the air? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say that there's definitely a couple events that we're looking at that are, that need some revitalization and some assessment of, is, bottom line, is this worth it? Or can we do something else that will be not as much work, not as much stress?
Are you free to discuss any of those? What's
probably not?
Okay, all right. I'm just curious because I know
this is a very new thing within the last couple of weeks, and I definitely don't feel comfortable with, because the ad hoc committee hasn't even met, so I don't want to say, I'm throwing this under the bus.
Yeah, we're not having fireworks on the 4th of July.
Right? Yeah, some of my board members are clueless to what's happening. So
that's a smart executive move.
I would say no, I don't feel comfortable with that. But when the decision is made, I'll come back and talk to you about it.
Excellent.
But so what we have coming down,
we've got the Economic Summit.
We have the Economic Summit, March 15th. We have Mike McGuire as the keynote speaker. We have Vertigo Marketing unveiling our website, our logo, our tagline, and the new Discover Del Norte is going to be unveiled at the Economic Summit as well. And that's going to be held at Elk Valley Rancheria. So tickets will be on sale for that here in probably a couple of weeks. Then, of course, we have our 4th of July. So we have our deck party, we have our 4th of July, all of the events surrounding that. We put a lot of love and energy into the 4th of July, and it's an amazing community event. So I'm really proud of all of the people that work so hard behind the scenes, people you wouldn't even imagine that put so much time and energy into the event to make it happen. And it really, truly does take the entire community to put that event on. So it's a big boy. And then after that, we have Sea Cruise, and that's typically the first weekend in October. We also have...
You doing the barbecue thing?
So the barbecue thing is an event that we actually have discontinued.
Okay.
I
was never sure how I felt about the name.
Oh, the name. Oh my gosh. So the name, I can tell you, I can speak very strongly on the name that I feel is incredibly inappropriate. It was called Grills Gone Wild. And
my first reaction, I heard that Rob Reed from KCRE said that in a meeting, and I was like, my first reaction was like,
right.
And I thought, that's really offensive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I kind of have the same reaction of the like, oh, that's clever.
That's clever, but
also, do I want to take my kid to that event?
Yeah.
You know, and so, and it's no offense to the people who came up with this name.
No, because it was a pun. It's just
I get it, but I also don't because I feel like it's not the best image that we need to present to our community as a family fun event. So, and it wasn't because of the name that we scratched it, but basically what happened is the first couple of years, or I believe the first year, it was not a sanctioned event.
Yes.
Meaning that Joe
just a barbecue.
Schmo come barbecue and be in the contest. And then the following year, it was like, let's ramp this up. And we became a Kansas City barbecue official sanctioned event. And what that meant was we had to have X amount of vendors and X amount of dollars to give them for the prize, right? So at the last minute, they were scrambling trying to get people because they couldn't fill the vendor spots because it was quite a bit of money to register. You had to have specific, because it was sanctioned, there was different rules. So then the next year was last year, my first year, and they said, okay, Kansas City barbecue, now it's your second year, you have to double money and double numbers.
Oh my
God.
I
said, no, it's not going to happen because at the time I came on, the full-time office staff we had to slash the position to a half-time, part-time position. So here I'm taking on, all of these events that have typically been run by people who've been there 10 years and executive directors who've been there a long time to a brand new staff and part-time staff. And the last 2 years, it was a money dump. They lost a couple $1,000s each event, and the amount of timing and time and energy that goes into planning those types of events, they better be money makers.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, right? I mean, community involvement, yes, that's why we're doing it, but also we need to make some money while we're doing it. So Girls Gone Wild is no longer, but then we have, I'm pretty sure am I missing anything? I think
those are the big ones, right? The 4th of July, the Economic Summit, 4th of July, Sea Cruise.
Annual dinner in January. And then I'm really hoping like I said, I don't want to speak too soon because I haven't brought it up to my board, but I have a really awesome idea for a new event in our community that I'm hoping that my board will approve and I can start slinging.
Time of year?
I'm thinking not tourist season. So
not what?
Not tourist season. So October, November.
Okay. Because
those are the months that there's not as many things to do. Host an indoor event. We don't have to worry about weather. So I'm excited.
Cool. Then let's wrap up because we've talked an hour and you have a meeting right now, I think, that you're going to be late to.
Back to back.
Okay. So somebody wants to get, first off, when they want to get involved, find out more about the Chamber of Commerce. What can they do? They can attend this evening at Seaquake, right?
They can attend. Like I said, it's open to the public. It's a great event to meet new businesses in town, businesses that don't have the brick and mortar style businesses. And otherwise, if you are unable to attend this evening, you can call us at the Chamber at 464-3174, or you can visit our website at, I'm sorry, I don't even want to give it. No, well, it is efficient for what it's doing right now. delnorte.org.
Gets the job done.
Ish. That's a subjective statement, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Sarah, thank you so very much for coming in and sitting in. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to make sure our listeners heard today?
Not at all. This is wonderful. If you have any questions or if there's anything that I can do for you as your chamber director, or if you have ideas for our community, I'm open. Please come visit me at the chamber. Call me, stop in, and it's all about building up our entire community together. So let's do this.
Right on. Let's do indeed. Sarah Caron, thank you very much. Executive Director for the Crescent City Del Norte Chamber of Commerce. And at some time, you got to come back because there's all the list of things that we didn't talk about. Being on the Film Commission, which is really exciting. And then, of course, the Trail Alliance and the work that Joe Gillespie's doing. We could talk about that too sometime, all right?
Anytime.
Thank you very much, Sarah.